Before practicing metta meditation or vipassana meditation, as a preliminary part, yogis have to practice sakor. Yogis should be able, uju and suju. Yogis should be upright and very upright. Suvacho, yogis should be obedient, muddu and natimani. Yogis should be gentle. Yogi should not be conceited. Santosako, yogi should be contented. To be contented means yogi should be satisfied with what is available. Number 2, yogi should be satisfied with what can be obtained within one's own ability. Number 3, yogi should be satisfied with what is suitable or proper. So there are 3 kinds of contentment. If it is multiplied with 4 kinds of requisites for a monk, it will come to 12. So practitioners should be contented in the light of these 12 qualities of contentment. So we have to be trained to be contented. If not contented, when desire for an object develops into an intense craving, the person have to suffer. So when beings are young, children begin to love their parents, relatives and friends, etc. As they grow older, they develop fondness and affection for playmates and friends. As they are being led by basic interest, they become thirstier and thirstier for love, as if they had drunk salty water. Then they drink salty water again and again and become more and more thirsty. So being not contented, become thirsty for sensual object, they indulge in it as they are unable to see the impending sufferings. They swirl about in the sea of love. So being not contented, nurture love and craving, then suffering is going on and on. This is an ancient poem. It mentions love. The more they love, the more they are insatiated. Just as they cannot quench their thirst by drinking salty water, love or tanha turns a blind eye to one's defect. Expecting happiness through love, one nurtures love. This is a way of love. This is the nature of love. So this is a cycle of suffering. Being not contented in the present, desire arises, love arises, and suffering is going on and on. So this is the ancient poem. Follow me. Love. The more they love, the more they are insatiated. The more they love, the more they are insatiated. Just as they cannot quench their thirst, by drinking salty water. Love, tanha, turns a blind eye. To one's defect. Expecting happiness through love, one nurtures love. This is the way of love. This is the nature of love. So we love and love and love, and we desire because we are not contented in the present. So suffering is going on and on and on. So yogi come here and yogi are training to be contented. Yogi should be contented with whatever is available for their daily consumption of food. So at home you can eat whatever you want, you can eat, and without mindfulness you can eat. Here we are trained to be contented for our consumption of food. Yogi are training to be contented. They don't take dinner, etc. And after afternoon they didn't take any meal, and also during breakfast and lunch they are very contented for their consumption to practice meditation well. And as regards robe, Buddha instructed monk to be content with pansukula robes. That means robes made of rags taken from rubbish. So Buddha allowed the monk to take rags from the garbage, and he can wash all these rags, and he can make robes. So permission has been granted to wear the robes donated by the benefactors out of generosity. If you offer the robes, monks can wear. If nobody offer, you can go to the garbage and you can make your robe. So a monk should remain in contentment with any kinds of robes which he may receive in accordance with the rules of discipline. If he seeks for any other kinds of robes contrary to the monk's discipline, he is considered to have committed an offense. Also, yogis are training to be contented regarding clothes. Here you wear very simple clothes, and just for practice, just for cover, just for to protect the climatic condition. In respect for lodging and bed, Buddha has instructed the monk to stay at the foot or under the shade of the tree, or reside in a monastery or a building offered by the donor. So to remain in contentment is essential. If devotee offer the monastery, the monk can stay. If nobody offer, you can go under the tree and you can practice. Also here, yogi are training to be contented. At home, your living room and dining room and are very big. Here, you have a very limited space. We have to be trained to be contented regarding lodging. So concerning medicine, Buddha had laid down instruction for bhikkhus to take urine of cattle as medicine. In Pali, it is called putimodda, urine of cattle. And in regard to medicine, a sick monk can ask for it from any person. However, it will be an offense for a bhikkhu if he asks for money from others. He asks for money, he buys medicine and makes use of it, so this is an offense. So contentment is also necessary relating to the medicine that is available. If yogi remains in contentment with what is available, it is known as yatha labha santosa Pali. Then if a monk is sick or weak, his property unsuitable, a monk can make use of suitable food, robes, monastery, bed, and medicine, which so he can exchange. So this is to be contented with what is available to him in his own capacity or within his own ability. And then consuming food or wearing robes, etc., which are superior quality and which have been received in exchange for his properties that are considered too good and improper for him to make use of them. It is also called contentment. In Pali, it is called yatha sarupa santosa. That means to be contented, to be satisfied with property appropriate for the purpose or suitable for the purpose. Sometimes your lodging is very big and it is too good for you, so you can exchange the properties of the lodging appropriate for the purpose. So if we are not contented, there will arise sensual desire for that object, and that desire will develop into an intense craving. Then the person becomes desperate and he will suffer because he tried to get the properties by fair means or foul. So nowadays, theft, robberies, frauds, murders, and so forth, all these cases stem from discontentment. So some crimes are rooted in sensual upadana, sensual clinging, and it is also based on uncontentment. People commit crimes not only because of their unwholesome desire, but also because of their blind attachment to wives, husbands, etc. All the crimes are based on discontentment. Long ago, in Vinares, in India, there was a poor man. He had a wife, and that poor man and wife had only a suit of thick clothes. So it was a Lenten festival. They wanted to go to that festival. So the poor man washed a suit of thick clothes to wear in the festival. But his wife disliked the white clothes, craved for a garment of pink color. She was not contented with the white color clothes. So the man tried to persuade her to wear the white clothes. He was not contented. She rejected. So all his efforts to reason with her become useless. So the man had to steal the flour that was to be used for dyeing his wife's garment. So he decided to get the flour for dyeing. So at midnight, to steal the flour to be used for dyeing his wife's garment, that man sneaked into the royal garden. Then he was caught by the hands of the guards. He fell into the hands of the guards, and the guards took him to the king. And the king ordered the poor man who stole the flowers of the garden to be impaled. So the man was impaled outside of the city. He suffered terribly. He also suffered terribly with the crows spiking and poking and pecking at his eyes. So when the crows pecking his eyes murmured, Nayitan Dukkha Adon Dukkha, Yaman Tudati Vayaso Sa Yan Sama Poparatina Katika Nanu Positi. Crows are pecking at my eyes. That piercing pain is not suffering. My beloved wife had no chance to enjoy at the Lenten festival with me. That unfulfilled desire is more suffering. So he murmured in this way. He murmured that his physical pain was nothing when compared to the mental suffering that overwhelmed him when he thought of the non-fulfillment of his wife's desire and his inability to enjoy the Lenten festival together with her. So he cried and cried and cried over his bad luck. Finally he died and he landed in hell. So in this story it is very clear that because not contented regarding the clothes, the person have to be suffered. So we have to be satisfied, we have to be contented with what we have. Those who always expect pleasurable things and are not satisfied with just enough, be miserable, they have to face suffering. So there are some research that mention that those who live to over 100 years old in age are mostly those who can be content with what they have got. However, we should not mix together the worldly matter and Dharma matters. In worldly matters, we should feel as if we would never die, and we have to fulfill our duties towards for the monks towards our duty. For the layman, you have to your duties towards your household, your relatives, and your country. So in worldly matters, you have duty of your family, you have duty to your relatives, you have duty to your country, you have duty to your center, etc. For the monks also, we have duty for our monks and for our temple. So in worldly, you have to earn property to fulfill your duty, and if you not fulfill your duty, and if you not earn properties, or it is just enough, we should be contented. It is not like this. If you are contented in worldly matters, it is a big loss, and it is not real santosako, real not contented. So in worldly matter, in education, this middle stage is enough, this stage is enough for me, it is just enough. You should not be contented. You have to learn more and more higher education. You need to learn more. You should not be contented. So in worldly matters, you should feel as if you would never die. You have to learn more and more, you have to earn more and more, and you have to fulfill your duty. But in the Dhamma matters, the meditating yogi should remember that will happen very soon. That is imminent. Even at each moment of noting, rising and falling, we can die anytime. Now breathe in, breathe out. You breathe in and not coming the breathe out, you will die. So that is very, very near. So before that moment, we need to understand the reality. It is very urgent moment, very serious moment. We have to remember that is imminent. So it is sitting, before getting up, before standing, we will die. It is standing, before walking, we will die anytime. It is going to the second week, before coming that week, we will die. So that kinds of recollection of the death have to remember again and we have to practice. Venerable Potila was a very learned monk. He was teaching 500 monks. He should not be contented. He have to practice because he have vipassana knowledge. He has not vipassana knowledge yet, so he have to practice. He should not be contented. So we have to ask ourselves many questions. Can you distinguish the mind and matter? That knowledge can you gain? So if that knowledge we cannot gain yet, we should not be contented to understand or to distinguish the mind and matter, to discover mind and matter. We have to ask ourselves the question, really experience the arising and disappearing of the phenomena. So that knowledge we gain or not, we have to ask the question. If we not gain that knowledge, that means the knowledge of rise and fall, we should not be contented. We should not be contented. We have to put effort more and more. We have to ask the question: have you gained the Megaphala, the path that leading to cessation of suffering? If we not attain the Megaphala, we should not be contented. We have to put effort to gain that path and fruition. So we should be clear that in the Vipassana we should be contented with the presently arising object, and there are three objects or three feelings, pleasant feeling or pleasant object. Regarding pleasant object, there may arise craving or desire for pleasurable object. Regarding unpleasant object, when we face to that object, we will long for pleasure, and a person in pleasure longs for better. So yogi should be contented with unpleasant object and note again and again until it disappears. A neutral object or neutral feeling, since it is peaceful, it is included in pleasure. So a person who is experiencing neutral feeling also longs for more and better. So all three kinds of objects are conditioned for craving. So we have to really be aware of the presently arising object, whether it is good or bad or neutral, contented, and be aware and note continuously until it disappears. So three objects, three feelings, dependent on all three kinds of objects or three kinds of feeling, there arises craving or desire. It is said that although feeling is a condition for craving, craving cannot arise from the feeling of a perfect saint. That is, Arahant, perfect saint, is free of inherent tendency. So it is true that feeling is a condition for craving, but craving cannot arise to those who have eradicated the inherent tendency of mental defilements. So this is a very good statement for us because it points out a way to break this way of life. Yogi should be contented with the presently arising object, whether pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. So if you be contented with the presently arising object and stay in the present and note continuously the present object, you do not have inherent tendency, and then craving will not arise. That means yogi become an arahant, the craving, tanha, will not arise. In use Santosako to be contented next time, Supero, etc. We will stop our discourse for today by practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses continuously and meticulously, by trying to be contented with the presently arising object, whether pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. May you all practitioners realize the real peace in the